That /24 in an IP address, most people think you have to memorize it, but you don't. I'm going to show you exactly where it comes from, and you'll be able to figure out slash notation instantly. That slash number comes directly from this. Stay with me to the end of this video. We'll break down slash notation in a way that you can understand it and you'll never forget. At the end of this video, I have some practice problems so you can make sure that you understand slash notation. Okay, if we look at a few subnet masks, we can see there's a large variety. We have the 255.255.255.0, the 255.0.0.0, and the 255.255.255.192, and so many more. If you started to doze off there, I can't blame you. I mean, I'm just naming off these long and boring subnet masks. Well, and that's the problem. That's why we have a slash notation. It takes a long time to say a subnet mask. Slash notation is sometimes called CIDR notation. What is it? What is this slash notation? It's just a shorthand way of writing the subnet mask. For example, if your friend's name is Elizabeth and you call her Beth for short, that's her nickname. That's the way subnet masks are as well. We have a shorthand way to refer to them, so we don't always have to say 255.255.255.0 because, you know, it takes a while to say Elizabeth, and it also takes a while to say a subnet mask. So unlike using Liz or Beth for your friend, you get to choose, there's a very specific way that we give a subnet mask its nickname or slash notation or CIDR notation. Students get confused about this, but it's one of the easiest things you're ever going to learn in subnetting. It's easy as long as you know how to convert decimal to binary. If you don't know how to convert decimal to binary, you're never going to understand slash notation. That's just a fact. So if you don't know that, just go back to one of my previous lessons and learn how to convert decimal to binary, and then come back here. All right, for the rest of us, we're going to move on. The easiest rule in subnetting is that we just count the ones in the subnet mask, and that is our slash notation. So first, you've got to convert this decimal subnet mask into binary value. Here we have our ones that coincide with each 255 in our subnet mask. So we have it written in dotted decimal format, and then we have the whole thing written out in binary. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones, and then another 8 ones, and another 8 ones, which if you add 8 3 times, you get 24. So you have 24 ones. So this is a slash 24. Super easy. If the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0 in binary, we have 8 ones, and then all of the rest are zeros. And so our CIDR notation or slash notation is slash 8. And one last example, we have a subnet mask of 255.255.255.192. When we look at that in binary, it's 26 ones. So what do we have? I hope you said a slash 26, because that's what it is. Yes, it is that easy. All right, now I'm going to show you on the next slide some questions for you to answer. I'm going to encourage you to take a look at the subnet mask that I give you. Pause the video, convert that subnet mask to binary, count out the ones, and then write in the IPv4 address, because subnet mask always goes with its IPv4 address, and we're going to use 10.0.0.0 and write that out with a slash notation. Let's see how you do. Okay, here's up at the top here, I say practice slash notation, use IPv4 10.0.0.0. So that's our IP address. Its BFF, the subnet mask, is 255.255.128.0. So what's our first step? Well, we're going to write that all out in binary. So we have our groups of 8 ones for our 255, and then a 1 in the 128 place value. And so we have a 1 there. All right, now we just count up our ones. 8 plus 8 is 16, and one more, that's 17 bits. I hope you got it, 10.0.0.0/17, because that's the answer. Moving on to our next example. Go ahead and pause here if you want to give this a try. I hope you got 8 ones in the first octet and 3 ones in the second octet. This is really putting your conversion from decimal to binary to test here. So if we count all of these ones, that gives us 8 in the first octet, 9, 10, 11, so 11 ones. We have a /11. And finally, our practice will end with 255.255.255.252. Again, give the video a pause here. I'd encourage you to do this and try and write the slash notation out yourself. This is a lot of ones here, but really we know that it's just 8 ones everywhere we have a 255. So we've got 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is 24. Here at our boundary between the third and fourth octet, we have 24 ones. So we can just count on. We have 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 ones. And so our slash notation is /30. All right, now you need to be able to do this in the opposite direction as well. So you need to be able to convert slash notation to your dotted decimal subnet mask. I'm going to give you one example, and then I'm going to encourage you to solve the remaining 2 examples on your own. Here we go with slash notation, converting it to dotted decimal format. With a 10.0.0.0/25, I know that I have 25 bits. So I can just write these bits out, and I'm going to write them out here on my tablet. And I'll encourage you to get out paper or tablet and write these out as well. I know people don't like to do this anymore. Students struggle with it in my classroom, but just write those bits out. It's going to be so helpful for your learning. Okay, enough preaching from the teacher. So for this 10.0.0.0 with a /25, I need 25 bits on in my subnet mask, which is 25 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dot 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 dot 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Wait, go back. I forgot a dot. So I got to 24 and I needed a dot there because I hit a group of 8. All right, so I put my dot in and 25 is there. So I've reached 25. That 1 is in the 128th position. So if I convert this into decimal value, I have 255 for each group of 8 ones. And then at the end here in my 4th octet, I have 128. I'll leave you to work on the remaining 2 here. I'd love to see your answers. With every step of subnetting, you really need to practice each step in order and get a mastery of it before you move on to the next step. Then, eventually, when you get to the end, what most students think is one of the hardest parts of their CCNA classes actually becomes your CCNA superpower. You just subnet anything you want. I have linked a worksheet below with practice problems on it. So if you want more subnetting practice, I'd encourage you to grab that practice sheet that I've designed for you. It's PDF download. And do that. And I'd encourage you to place your answers in the comments or questions for that matter. That would be great. Mostly, I hope this video was useful for you and that you learned something new about slash notations, because that's what we're talking about is slash notation. So I hope you learned something new about slash notation. By the way, I'm Colleen with Mom Teaches Tech. I'm so glad you were with me today. I hope this made sense for you. And if it did, well, then we're winning. See you next time. Bye-bye.